Hi, welcome to this week's Something for the Weekend. I'm Tony, Sales Manager here at Martin Lynch & Sons. And this week I've been asked a question, and that is, I've just bought myself a VHF UHF mobile transceiver. What other items do I need to get myself mobile? Well, you're going to need a vehicle to begin with. Now I'm going to leave that to do for yourself. And I'm going to take into consideration that you've already got that DC lead out of your box, and you've had that plumbed in either to the car battery or you're running it via cigarette lighter, etc. Okay, so what else are you going to need? Well, let's have a little think about it. So we've got our power source, we've got our radio, they're connected. Now, if we kind of look at our shack setups, what else are we going to need? So primarily, what's the most important thing that we're going to need? Well, we're going to need a bit of coax going straight from the radio, hopefully, to an antenna. So let's take a look at the coaxial options for you. So there are very simple options available. Now I'll bring these over. Hopefully you can see these. Okay, so these are made by Nagoya. Okay, and they're official Nagoya products, obviously, coming from Martin Lynch & Sons. And they come in around about 5 or 4 meter lengths, all depending basically on what you're going to need. So if you're running an SUV, for example, you might need the longer variant. Okay, now what you'll find with most VHF UHF antennas is that they're a PL259 on the base of the antenna. Okay, so what you'll find with these is that they have an SO239 socket. So I'll just show that there. There we go. And that's where your antenna would screw onto. On the other end is a PL259. Okay, and that's the same for both of these. So you'll see here, SO239 and the PL259 on the other end. There we go. Okay, main difference with these two cables is this one is obviously the same width all the way through from one end to the other. And this one here has what they call a little pigtail basically. So you can shut it into the door rubbers if need be, and it just saves a little bit of time on installation. But if you're going to do the job properly, you know, you can drill a hole, etc. But these make life a little bit easier. There we go, all nicely sealed as well for the weather. So that's the coax part ready for your install, and price wise anywhere from around about £15, you can go up to maybe £25–30 depending on the quality and overall length of the cable. Okay, so you've got that. Now, I mean, that's not going to be very good, is it? Because you're going to try and put the antenna on, it's going to wiggle around, for example. Where's it going to go? So you're going to need some form of mount basically to mount the antenna on. Now I've got a couple of examples just to show you. Obviously there's many variants of these. There's very heavy duty, there's little tiny skinny ones if you've got a little tiny antenna that you want to pop on. But I'll grab my favourite, and one that's always lasted me for many years. And that's this one here, which is the Diamond K415. Again, around about, I think about £40 to £50 or so for a decent mount. And if you look here, very good quality. Got a nice thickness here, so you know it's going to be very sturdy, especially if you've got a larger antenna on. And this is it's got 3 axes basically, so you can move it here. So if you've got it on your hatchback, for example, we can change it here, and we can bend it either way as well, so in and out. So you can have the antenna basically standing away from the vehicle if need be, or bringing it in a bit closer as well if you just want to have it sort of hanging off the back of the hatchback, the hatchback, or even on the boot lid on the back. Okay, now you'll see this wonderful hole here. Now we've done this on a previous video, but I'm going to quickly do it for you now. You basically take this off of here, slide it in, and then screw that back onto there. So you've got yourself, there we go, a nice solid mount to then screw the antenna onto the top, and you'll be ready to go once you've mounted this. Okay, so let's get that off of there, and I'll just show you the base of this, because it's all very well me showing you how to put the cable on, but you're probably going to wonder how you're going to attach this to the car. You're not going to have to be drilling holes, etc. best way to do it, and normally there's instructions as well for this online, is you can scrape away a little bit of paint underneath sort of the body panel. And then if I go into here, you'll see there's little grub screws, and you'll get an Allen key to go with that. And you literally slip it over onto the panel and then tighten these screws and just make sure it's sturdy. And these are rubberized as well, so you're not going to damage the paintwork at all. So what if you don't want to mount it to a body panel, etc., and you've got roof bars? Yes, we've got variants available for that. So this K515, for example, there's a 545 as well, I believe, but they will go onto your roof mounts. And basically you can do exactly the same, pop your cable in and you're ready to roll on that. Now, don't want to do a permanent install, just want to quickly put it on, then obviously we've got mag mount bases for you. So pop this to one side. So this antenna here is attached to a Serio Mag 145. Again, nice rubberized base onto it. Comes with a coax as well, with the PL259 on there. And as you can see, the antenna is firmly fixed on and we're ready to go. What I will say is always be very careful when using mag mounts. Obviously don't drive too fast. I believe our Jonathan has a story about a mag mount coming off and smashing the back window, and I'm sure a few others have as well. So if you want to leave it in the comments, by all means, please let us know your stories about mag mounts. But they do a job, but just bear that in mind, especially if you've got larger antennas, that you've got to be very, very careful with it. Now, let me just quickly clear this away, and I'm just going to quickly show you some sort of top tips when it comes to putting the antennas onto the mounts. Okay, so I've cleared the table now with a little bit of help from Henry, as usual. And I just want to go over what you need to check on your antenna before you install it onto your mount. Okay, so these are key things you need to bear in mind, okay? When it comes to tuning the antenna, don't just put it on a bit of coax or put it onto the top of the antenna tuner, etc. Oh, it doesn't work, etc. It's not going to work like that. You're not going to get true readings. So I always say, majority of the time, if you're testing it, once you've got it on, then maybe bring out your analyzer just to double check. 99% of the time, these are going to be pre-tuned. As long as you're buying a decent brand, you're going to be okay. So basically, any of the antennas that we sell, you're going to be fine with. If you've got a nondescript antenna and you think it may not be 2 or 70 centimeters, probably test it once it's on just to make sure, because you know it's not always 100%. Anyway, once you've got the antenna, so you've taken it out of the packet, it could look like this. Here we go here. So this is a one-piece antenna for 2 and 70. We'll have a quick overview of it. You've got the tip of the antenna. This one has an inbuilt coil, obviously to gain the resonance. And then on the base, we've got the PL259, which I was mentioning earlier. Okay, so you've got this. Is there anything else I need to notice? Am I just going to put this straight on? Oh no, it seems it's a little bit rattly actually. So one key thing to notice on new antennas when you get them, grub screws. Okay, very, very important, the grub screw. You're also going to get in your pack one of these, which is an Allen key. Hopefully you're aware of these. And what you need to do is pop these in. Here we go. And just give those a tighten. There we go. Now we want to make sure that that's sturdy, so that when we go driving, this element doesn't pop out, okay? Now, what happens if you've got your antenna and it's not a one piece? Where do we go from there? It just so happens I've got a 2-piece antenna here. Lovely diamond super gainer. Again, 2 and 70. Okay, now how does this work? Where does this go? So we've got lots of grub screws on this antenna. So I'm going to show you. Literally pop it into the top. Again, and grab your Allen key. And then we're going to tighten this up. And when we do that, you'll notice on here, we've got more that we need to do. So we're going to tighten that. Going to do the ones at the base. There we go. Now, that's ready to go. Nice and solid. So we can pop that onto our mount and we'll be good to go, okay? So, Tony's number 1 tip. when it comes to putting on mobile antennas, and this is from years of having an ATAS 120A, always, 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 please always hold it from the base. Okay, never from the top, never from the middle when you're turning it, because you're just going to break the antenna. So let's put it onto this mag mount and go through it. So literally going to pop it on. So if I move that a bit closer for you there. So I'm going to pop that on. Now I'm not just going to start turning it like a crazy man. I'm going to literally go the wrong way for a little bit and just feel for it lightly, and then you'll feel it starting to grip on the mount, and away you can go. So again, keeping it steady and turning from the base. Now, one little extra turn and we're solid, we're ready to go. There we go. So that's your antenna mounted. Hopefully no problems with it, no grief, and you're ready to go. You can then start testing your antenna once it's connected to the radio, and make sure the SWR is all right, etc. Like I said, 99% of the time these are going to be pre-tuned, so on average don't expect a one-to-one SWR all over the bands. Anything really below sort of 1.7, 1.8, you're going to be fine, and you'll probably find that because obviously the 2 and 70 bands are quite broad. Yeah, I mean, that's easy. We're basically ready to go now. But what if that's not enough for you? Or what if you don't want an antenna that's so big, really? Even though it's not that big, it's under a metre in length, this one. Well, have a little think about, do you want to compromise having the gain of the antenna for the look of the antenna, etc.? And also, antennas can be quite clever. You might just think it's a bit of metal and that's it. So for example, this one, driving along, great. Put this on a car, it's not going to, you know, stick out too much, and it's going to give you a little bit of gain. You know, you're normally looking at around maybe 3 dBi, 5.5, 5.6 maybe on 70 as a comparison. Now, but when I go to work, I've always got to go under the height restriction to the car park. Don't worry. If you pull on it, you can just bend it over and then drive in, basically. So you're good to go, as you can see here. That's done, and then obviously once you've parked up, just pop it back over and you're ready to go again. So you do need to give these a bit of a pull, and I will say that because we do get a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails in saying, oh, I've bought this antenna, it says it's got a fold over option, but it doesn't actually happen. So basically, don't pull it from, remember, don't pull from the antenna itself. So grab the bit that you've got here and then pull again, and then you're ready to go. And obviously hold the base at the same time. But you'll find this feature on quite a few of the antennas now, especially the larger sort of 2 to 3 piece ones. Okay, so as I was saying, that's still not good enough for you. You want something maybe a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit more stylish, a bit more low profile. Don't worry, we've got you covered. So let's get this off first of all. Give me a moment and I'm just going to quickly clear away the table and bring back a few more options for you. Okay, so table cleared again, and I've got these 2 options for you. So both of these are diamond antennas. Now, as you can see, they're a lot smaller than the previous antennas that we had. There we go, I'm going to show you in there. So this is a 770S, which I take it stands for short, and as you can see, it's got a matching part here and all the way to the tip, and your standard PL259 on the bottom. Okay, so again, we're going to pop this on here. Again, even though it's small, we're still going to hold the base, and we're going to screw that on. So this is how it would look, and you know, in comparison to the antenna that was up here before, it's a lot more low profile. Okay, so what are you going to lose? Well, you're going to lose a bit of gain, that's for sure. However, if you're, you know, the type of person that's only using your radio driving into work, for example, or driving home from work, and you're using the repeaters, maybe keeping in touch with your friends on the local repeater, then it's not a bad option, actually. You know, you could put 5 or 10 watts through this, even if you're, you know, dare I say it, using a handheld in the car, you'd still be okay. You'd still probably reach that repeater. So, you know, it's not a bad option to go for a small antenna. Again, you can have it on the mag mount. It looks a little bit overkill, this mag mount for this one, but obviously smaller ones are available. But yeah, bear that in mind. A couple of the guys here use these smaller antennas, and we, you know, because we work fairly close simplex, and I do work a treat. Range wise, if we're lucky, maybe running 15-20 watts, we're going to get 5 or 6 miles range, you know, going through town. So it's not too bad. Now, I can hear you already, but I've got a lovely car. Lucky you. I've got a lovely new car. It's beautiful. I don't really want chrome antennas on there. What do I want that for? You know, I'm a modern kind of guy, Tony. I'm a modern kind of guy. I've worked hard all my life, and I don't really want to spoil my car with one of those big antennas, all shiny, all glistening, and everyone going, oh, is he a radio ham? Or she? There is an option for you, and it's this one. There we go. So this is the Diamond AZ504 FX in this lovely black colour. Here we go. There's the tip, and you'll notice it's got a bit of a wobble on it. So PL259 on the bottom, nice sturdy base, and we'll screw that on. And basically, it kind of looks as if it should be on the car already. So like with your standard sort of broadcast FM antenna, it's got that wobble onto it. And again, perfect if you're going to be working into repeaters. No issues whatsoever, really. It's not going to look out of place on the car if it's a nice modern car. So yeah, one to consider. Again, just bear in mind, if you're doing simplex operation, you want to be doing DXN, etc. from the car on 2 meters FM, then it's probably not going to be the option for you. But for day-to-day use, just general communication with friends, etc. Maybe you're in a little bit of a sort of road trip and you want to be talking to each other. That's not a bad option, and it's not going to look out of place on a modern car. Okay, so nice simple solution for you there. Now, in fact, I'm going to leave that there. Now, last thing quickly, I'm just going to grab this. These are a good option. So if you've not got a full install in your car, you've not got a proper mobile radio, etc., you're just using your handheld and you just want something to quickly pop on, but you still want to be mobile, then any of these Diamond kind of small pre-constructed mag mounts basically would come with the coax. You can have either a PL259 SMA connection or BNC connection, whatever you may need. These are very good, and they do work very, very well. I think they're good for about 70 watts or so, I think last time I looked. Yeah, I can't see it on here, but they're good. They're good for a good few watts, definitely. I've used these for quite a few years. But another good option, like I said, makes it a lot easier if you don't want to put all your mounts up, etc. But at least you can go mobile. Right, when it comes to antennas, Tony, do I just have to operate VHF, UHF, 2 and 70? No, so you've got a wide range of options when it comes to mobile antennas. As we said, dual band 2 and 70, you've got tri-band. Majority of those are going to be 2, 6 and 70, or 6, 2 and 70, whichever way around you like it. Also, you can get quad band. So Diamond CR 8900, you're looking at 10, 6, 2 and 70. So if you're running an 8900, for example, or if you've got a PL 980 from Wuxen, absolutely perfect, because you can then operate all bands. Monobanders, just a quick word on monobanders. Tony, I don't operate 70 sems, I don't want to go on 6, I don't want to go on 10, I just want to be on 2. Great choice. So on 2 meters, there's plenty of monobands available, from very tiny small ones like this one here, which will get you onto the air, as you can see, much along the lines of this one here. No problem throughout the VHF 2 meter band, you'll be there, all pre-tuned, etc., ready to roll. Or you can go special. Now, before I show you this antenna, and I'm not going to put this one together because I've not got the room here, but I need to say hi to Dave. For those of you that remember Dave that used to work here, M0COM. Dave used to use this antenna on a regular basis. So bear with me 1 second whilst I grab it. Now, Dave caused such a stir that we actually had a Midel version of this made. And I'm going to pull it out. Here we go. So this is the NR 22, I believe, L. Okay, which is quite an antenna, as you can see. Now I'm not sure if Henry can get that in shot or not, but it's a fair bit bigger than me, as you can see, and I believe it may even be a double 5/8. So on 2 meters, this worked extremely well, and yeah, we always heard Dave on the way home, that's for sure. Anyway, I hope that's given you a brief insight on which sort of mobile antennas are available for VHF and UHF, and how easy it is to install a VHF, UHF antenna on your car. We will be showing you some clips of installs already on vehicles so that you can see how they look. The weather's not great outside, so bear with us, but we will do it for you. Anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon. Okay, so you can probably tell I've left it a day to come outside. It was raining far too heavily yesterday. And I'm going to show you what these antennas look like on the car now, so you can kind of get a visual representation as to how it'll be when you're traveling down the road. So we're going to start off with this one, which is your kind of standard size dual band UHF, VHF antenna. Pop that on. As I said, always at the base. There we go. So that's your standard one. As you can see, it's not too offensive, and be good coverage as well. If you want to operate simplex, it's not going to be a problem. So let's get this off, and I'll show you that nice sleek black antenna that we had for the more modern cars. Let's get this one off. You can see how easy it is as well to put these on and off. No issues whatsoever. There we go. There's our sleek one, which is the diamond antenna. As I said, still coverage of VHF, UHF, but probably better for repeaters, etc. And obviously the power handling on these is going to be slightly lower. Now we're going to go on to the Dave Special, as we like to call it. Let's get this off. Get those out of the way. Thank you, Henry. Okay, again from the base. And we'll just wait for that to take on. There we go. All right, that's on nice and tight. And you're going to need to go that way, Henry. So there we go. That is the 22L, which I said, not dual band on this one. I believe this is just a mono band, so 2 meter VHF antenna. Gain wise, I think it's about a double 5/8. As I said, it's about 7 foot or so in length. So you're going to really do well simplex with this one. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful. And if you've never been mobile before, look how simple it is. Just a case of getting that radio, mount and antenna set up, and away you go. Anyway, take care, and hopefully we'll see you down at the shop soon. 73.